Welcome to the House of Legends podcast, where great women become exceptional. I am your host, Graciela, founder and CEO of the House of Legends by Graciela, a mindset coach and mother of three beautiful kids. My mission and passion is to provide you with the tools that will allow you to unlock and bring out the best version of yourself, which is the key to all change. Some of those tools are mindset, identity work, and emotional mastery. Not only that, but I will also bring you powerful conversations with legends like you, showcasing their journey, life work, and allowing us to learn from their experiences and insights. So don't miss an episode. Tune in each week to the House of Legends podcast and let's unlock the power of your own legend. Let's dive in today's episode. An amazing way of seeing business. One of your lines says, growing a successful business is an ongoing inside journey. And I love that. And we can extend more, right? I can go on and on, Sara, but I would love for you if you can introduce yourself, let us know who you are and what led you to where you are currently at.
Thank you so much, Graciela, for the intro. I think I cannot do better than you. You did the perfect intro. I can skip mine because yours was amazing. Thank you so much for inviting me first. And hello, everyone. Who am I? So my name is Sara. Graziella already described me perfectly about what I do, but my background, if people want to know, I am coming from Italy and I did move to Australia 8 years ago. And what can I say? The journey for me to build this business, I feel that started that day. Like when I moved to Australia, I definitely get very uncomfortable because I didn't speak English. I never been in another country. Like it was so far away from home. I was like this little girl going in Australia and I didn't know anything about Australia, English, moving abroad. So I think that was the beginning for me of this journey because I did the most uncomfortable thing that I have done, living with my parents, stay at home with people that I know, and then moving in another place. And that journey started like I did learn about myself, like what I don't want, the people that I don't like, the things that I don't want to have in my life. And then, when you're moving abroad, you meeting different people, different culture, and you stretch yourself. And then that's when everything began. And I found out that I do really love helping people to get uncomfortable so they can really experience the best in their life because that's how we experience the best. So that's a little bit of my story or how everything started when I did move to Australia. And in my business, you already describe it. Like that's exactly what I do. I help women to build businesses, but I don't know, like it's not just that, like it's the internal work that we do a lot because through the internal work you can definitely understand yourself and become your best because when you are marketing yourself or selling your product, there is a lot of fear that comes through. There is a lot of limiting beliefs. There is a lot of stories like, I cannot do this. I cannot make money. I cannot grow my business because I don't have this. Comparison, like with social media today, like there is so much comparison constantly online, especially for women. So I do help them internally because when you believe in yourself and you step into this frequency of abundance, that everything, and I know that you love this, Graciela, because you talk about this a lot in your marketing. When you step into this frequency, things happens, like clients arrive, money arrive, abundance arrive. So is I would say the 80% is the internal work that I do with my customer. And of course, we do business and we do marketing and all the things, but the 80% of the work that I do is absolutely internal. Absolutely.
I love it. Oh my God, I didn't know about that you moved from home, I will say Italy, and then coming into a new country, a new environment, new language, new everything. I think that paradigm shift was huge. And the way that you that you were able just to turn around in your favor, that speaks a lot about who you are. That is amazing. I mean, I don't even, I was not even telling that English was your second language, and it was like, God, I mean, you're
Not
amazing.
even one word. Not even one word.
Oh
Like
my gosh, that is even
nothing. I
impressive.
wasn't even able to, because I come from Florence,
Yeah.
and Florence, which is the big city in Italy, but I was living in a little place and nobody speak English in Italy. Like literally, we do not speak English in Italy. So I never had the opportunity to learn properly. So when I did came here, I was like, I don't understand anything. How I am gonna do this?
And
I
now,
had no idea, and it was very challenging, but it did pay off later.
yeah. And I would love to ask, because many of the listeners will be like, but how do you did it? I mean, not only learning a new language, but also creating a business as well and working in yourself. How was that process?
The process was very tough. The
Mm.
process was very tough, especially the first few years. But in terms of my business, I definitely did learn English. I did stretch myself, like instead of choosing the comfort zone. And I think this is very relatable in business. We do choose the comfort zone all the time. And that's why we do not grow our business, because we remain comfortable. And I did started to hang out with people, for example, that did speak English instead of people that were speaking Italian,
Mm.
and hang out with, getting really uncomfortable. Like it was like this. That's why I told you that I started this business journey when I moved, because I was choosing the hard thing every single day. Like, okay, instead of going in an Italian restaurant and be a waitress there, I'm going to work in that pub where there is no Italians, and I will stretch myself. And that was my kind of attitude from day one. Like, if I want to learn English and I want to build my business in another country and I do not speak English, the only things that I can do is stretch myself and learn English, because learn English was the first thing. Or how do I communicate? How do I do marketing? So that was the first step, and getting uncomfortable. And I think that women, especially women, we
Yeah.
do choose often what is comfortable because it's easy. Like,
Here.
I
Yeah.
can stay with Italian people and it's more comfortable. It would have been more comfortable, but I will not be here today with you
Mm.
doing this amazing conversation together and running my business in English.
Ah,
I could choose to run my business in Italian, and that
yeah,
will have been easier.
definitely. Definitely.
But it's not, because you wanna reach so many people as possible with your message. So that was the first action, and the second, I would say, the people around me, surrounding myself with people that did, and that was very the hard process, because when you're building your business, you do realize that not everybody will supporting you, not
Yeah.
everybody will believe in you. And that was the second step. Like, I do not have the right people around me. That's
Mm.
why I'm not able to build the business that I want, because I do not have the right people. And I do talk about this often in my marketing, because it's something that I notice with clients that it's
Yeah.
missing often. They don't have the right support, the right people around them, so they cannot grow their businesses. So that was the second thing. Like, do I have
The
get
people.
uncomfortable, and then do I have the right people around me?
Mm.
Because if I don't, and I always say, because I remember that back then I had friends told me like, oh, you're never gonna be able to build your coaching business in English
Mm.
online in a different country. That's not gonna be possible. And I remember that I had all of those comments around
Yeah,
me
conflicting
that
things right now.
they weren't supportive, because how can I grow my business if I have those type of environments? So that was the second thing. And I would say that those two, they are the main thing that really did help me to be where I am today.
I love the fact that you mentioned environment, because sometimes we only think that, well, I'm working on myself, but the environment is huge, because if we have an environment that is contradicting what we're working on, it's well, we can have the willpower and all that, but it's always introducing doubt and any kind of projection, and we start doubting and we start like slowing down and you name it. One of the things that I would love to ask you, Sarah, And this is specifically, I'm just gonna go direct, because sometimes when we are in business, one of the things I was having this conversation that, you know what, we are here in business because we want to help people. That is a standard. That is like a breeding. Like that is like, what are you talking about? That is just key, right? We want to help people. But when it comes to money, and I love the fact that you are teaching women to charge like high ticket. I can definitely share that. I never had this limiting belief. I will say my first program, I was like all the people like for 4 weeks, I was like 4 calls. I was like $1,500. I was like, that is the normal, right? I was like, that is my first program. And I never thought about like charging less because I'm new charging. I didn't thought about that until, and I commented with in a network that I was, and I was like, are you charging what? But you're new, you have to do like the alpha, or I don't know how they call it. Like you have to do it for free. It's like, what are you talking about? I never entertained that thought. But I always, since day one, I will say, I never have the thought of like, I do have to charge nothing, or I have to charge cheaper or whatever. But I do have so many clients that even if they have amazing business, they're like, but who's going to pay? It's like, why are you holding that belief in the first place? And even I did have this situation, I will say 2 years ago when I started building my business. I was like, I, I let something that thought like, uh let it in a little bit, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm relaunching my business, what prices and all that. It's like, why are you questioning yourself? Like you did this before. I would love to ask you how you what was your first thought about like teaching women high ticket and not just like selling because you have we all know that we have something to give to others, and how you were able to choose to say, you know what, I'm going to just focus on high ticket because I know all the benefits, and we know the benefits, but I would love to have your point of view.
Yeah, that's such a good point, and I love that we're talking about this because for women this is very essential. So I decided to teach iTicket because I do find that when you owning your power, like this is what I do, this is my product, I do believe in what I do, and this is the price, and we do, like you say, no questioning, no doubting, no undercharging, no changing the price in the middle of the launch, because I do have clients that in the middle of the launch, they're changing the price. And I say, no, we don't do that, because you are showing to people that you are doubting what you're doing, you're doubting your product. And I feel that when you do that, and the person, the business owner, the woman own that, you do attract a better client. Yeah. You do work with better people. And especially when we are in the niche that we are, service-based business and coaches, for my personal experience, but also with people that I did study and learn from, iTicket is the only way to build a sustainable business. Yeah. In a coaching industry and in a service-based businesses, because you do work with the right people, you work with people that are committed. And when you're increasing your price, you're increasing your standard. That's what I say to my clients all the time. You increase your price, you increase your standard, meaning you attract premium people. And I always use this metaphor and they always laugh. Like imagine you going shopping to Louis Vuitton, or you're going shopping to Kmart. Kmart is a kind of
Walmart thing, yeah.
Yes, exactly. And nothing wrong with Kmart, okay? No. I do go to Kmart sometimes. But the type of business, the type of standard and quality is different, right? So I always say to them, you cannot market yourself if you want to attract premium customer and have an amazing business. You have to show up in your marketing and sell like Louis Vuitton.
Yeah, of course.
You attract Louis Vuitton customer, and Louis Vuitton customer, they don't need convincing. No. They don't need that you are babysitting them during your coaching or service. They don't need that. They already know that your product is valuable, and they already know that they need your product. And when you're having clients like that, your business is flourishing because you do work with people that does respect your standard, your boundaries. They do the work. They are not sending you maybe, 100 message a day. So I do teach iTicket because iTicket changed my business, changed the people that I attract, change the money that I do make so I can reinvest again and improve and deliver even better high quality. If we do undercharge, you don't have a profitable business. Like there is no choice.
Yeah.
You're right at a certain point that there is no choice. I mean, there is people that does membership or I do low ticket as well, like to have people warming them up before they buy my high ticket. But I don't believe in membership. I don't believe in membership because they are not sustainable. If
Yeah.
it's not sustainable for me, it's not worth it because I want to do this forever, like until I do have the capacity to do it. And the only way to do this is iTicket.
I will,
And it's, yeah,
yeah.
tell me.
I love the way that you are positioning yourself in that strong, like all the benefits that you mentioned. I mean, we're not only like having a beautiful business that we are able to reinvest in ourselves, even have. I know I do have two assistants. I don't have like another team, but you have two women that are working with you. I mean, you are now there are people depending of like there's no just like a hobby or I'm just doing this for a side hustle. When we are growing our business and we see ourselves on the long run, we have to take this in consideration. And it's not about like charging more because just because it's actually the people that get to attract. I love the fact that you mentioned about nor having people that they think that we're their nanny or we're doing the war or 10,000 messages or 10,000 questions. They're self-led. They know what they want, and you don't have to convince them. Either if they say yes or no, and that's it, right? But I would love to know what was, if you can share with us at least one or two mindset shifts that you work in yourself to have this kind of potency regarding about money coming in into your business and charging that, holding that.
Wow, that's a big question.
At
Let
least
me let me pick two, but definitely there is more than two. But let me
yeah.
pick two. The first one, I will say, really healing the fact that coming from Italy and
Yeah.
having my Italian background, that
Yeah.
was already like over there, a lot of limiting beliefs, like a lot of limiting beliefs coming just from my background, just coming from where I am coming from. So where did I born? So the first one was like believing that I have what it takes to become
Mm.
successful. It's already within me. Like it's not because I'm paying someone else or I do have a mentor or I do study or the algorithm does something. No, it was believing that I already have. Sara itself already have what she needs to succeed because I am abundance. I have the frequency of abundance. And that was the first like kind of shift, mental shift. Like I don't need to get validation, external validation. I don't need people to like my content. I don't need to go viral. I don't need to have someone say, oh, you're doing great, or you're doing, whatever. Like really owning my self-worth. It was the first biggest shift that I had to do. Like self-worth was so huge for me, so
I,
painful, so huge because I didn't felt worthy for so long, especially coming from the place where I'm coming from my past childhood. So that was the biggest shift that I had to do and learning that I am worthy in the way that I am. No matter I will say that this is the second step, no matter my business result. I am Sara, I am worthy, I am abundant. Doesn't matter how much money I make. Doesn't matter if my business is going well. Doesn't matter if my business going not well. I am still worthy. I'm still okay. And that was the biggest shift that helped me to show up in a way that you see me all day or every day. It doesn't matter how the thing's going because I am detached from my business. I am not my business. Sara is Sara. My business is my business. And this one was the biggest work that I did, like detaching because
and having
touch
separated,
yourself,
right?
separate, like
Yeah.
see me as Sara and see my business as a completely separate entity that even if I'm not online, it still does the work. The business still
I
keep
love that.
going. The business is still finding the right customer to send to me. And sometimes I do have people opt in out of nowhere, client come out of nowhere, because my business does its job, even if I'm not there.
I love that belief. I think let us borrow that belief about in that. It's like my business does its own job. It's like bringing me the clients, the right clients, and I don't have to be high vibe all the time, or I don't have to be like, I don't know,
Exactly.
27, right? I think that is really, really important, and to understand that we are different. There's two different entities in identities, the identity of my business, identity of who I am, like two
Correct.
separate
Correct.
things, right? We are, the business is I will say your expression or your extension, but it's not you. And
No.
I think that is really, really valuable. I do share as well, like the first one shift that you said about coming from my origin, my childhood was in Mexico, and for me it was kind of really when I come to this, like I said, I was just charging, but when I started interacting with more mentors, so people's like, no, how much do you charge? Yeah, I do charge that, and people pay you, but I never thought about like I never thought about like I do have to charge cheaper. Like that was my belief. But sometimes when like, and this goes back to the environment, when even when you are with mentors, sometimes like, no, you have to charge like less because of this, and that. And it's like, okay. And sometimes they implant a little bit of doubt. But when we start understanding ourselves, it's when things change. But I love the fact that you mentioned that
Exactly.
we have to give yourself permission, and no matter from what place are we coming from what nationality, from what, if English is our second language, you name it. I did have a client, and she's from Philippines, and she's
Mm.
like, and she's so good at what she does. Like, oh my God, it's like you're fucking genius. Like, well, but I have to charge in Filipino pesos. I think pesos. Excuse me if I'm mistaking the currency right there. It's like, why? Like, your business is a global fucking, excuse my language here, business. What are you charging in pesos? Like, well, but we all know for the Filipino cheaper price. Like, what in the what? Like, you have to see yourself as the woman that has a global business. It doesn't matter if I'm living, I don't know, whatever, in Cuba, in Mexico. I'm not gonna charge in that. I'm gonna charge in dollars if I do want to. You have to own that first. And she started seeing those changes, and it's the same thing that I did for me. It's like, I'm coming from Mexico, English
Yeah.
is my second language, this and that. And once I shoot off those things, I was like, the people, situations, and circumstances were rearranging themselves for me. But all starts and ends with ourselves. Like,
I love that you say that, because this is such, I work with Australian women, I work with international women from every country, and Italians, especially European people, they always say, but yeah, Italian people or German people will never pay me this. And I say, listen, you don't need to work with those people. You need to work with the Italian people or the German people or wherever they're coming from. They are premium customer. So
yeah,
we are, the moment that we're shifting our marketing message, if we want to attract those people, we have to act and also show up in that way. Because otherwise, you will keep attracting those clients that you thinking that they're not going to pay you, right? Because in
yeah.
Philippines and in Italy, we don't pay that, but we do not
I don't.
want that,
Yeah.
right? So let's not speak. Oh, okay, I stop, because when we start talking about this, I will just talk forever.
Like,
So
it's all good. I would love to ask your point of view, and when it comes to coaching, and you mentioned this, something that just, it was just coming like a flash right here. When we starting, or even, I'm not gonna mention that we're starting, maybe even sometimes we have 3 4 years in the game, right? And we said, you know what, I want to help these people, and we're making some projections. How you how what was the way that you approach like tone, or only serving the people that you know that are high valuable clients? How you were able to detach from the mother kind of like toxic, I call it mother toxic gratitude, like, I'm gonna drop you, I'm gonna help you, I'm gonna put myself as your rock, just whatever. that is a toxic thing. It's like, I'm gonna help you, of course, let's go up, but I'm not gonna do the work for you. I'm not gonna push you, definitely. I'm not gonna convince you to solve your own dream. How you were able to just say, you know what, I'm not responsible for that. I'm here to help people for the people that is fucking ready. It's like this beautiful mango that is just ripped, it's like a beautiful mango, like ready to eat, right? It's not something that you have to push, convince, try. How you were able to separate that and just the feeling good about your business, like.
That's such an amazing question and very valuable, because when you do this, everything changes in your business. Like everything started with myself, like
Yeah.
who is the person? And that's the same exact process that I took my client with. Like they completed this sort of workbook that I did created. They decided who is their green client and who is the red light client. Like it's kind of, the traffic light. Yeah, the traffic light. So when
Yeah.
is clear, okay, this is my red client, like no, this is not who I want to work with. And this is my green client. This is the person that I want to work with. First, that will be the first step. Clarify who is the client that you want to work with. And usually I ask my client, who is your perfect client right now? And they say, Graziella. Good. So Graziella, what she does this, she does this, she does this. Perfect. So she is the kind of not avatar, because I don't like that word, but that she is my 4%. I say 4%. The 4% of your client right now, who they are. The 4% is the one that you work with them really well. They achieve result. They don't complain. They do the work, like the perfect customer. Take them as an example. And then when you go in your marketing, speak to them. Only to them. Imagine, like everything that I do in my marketing is based the 4% of my customer. They are like the perfect one, like the client that I want to keep attracting forever. And I just speak to them. I use their word. I use like what they say to me all the time. And I just bring that into my message. And when you bringing that into your message, you do attract people like that, and you will see that they are all the same. Like you say, well, how can I attract all the same people? Yes, because your message, your content, like do not speak with the scarcity mentality. For example, if you don't invest in your business, you will never grow your business. That's a scarcity.
Bullshit. Yeah.
That's a scarcity. That does speak with the customer that is not empowered. That speak with someone that need to be convinced.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
They try to convince them. And I did this type of marketing in the past.
It's a journey. Yeah, totally.
That's the process. Like, if someone that listening and want to take like some notes about this, identify the green light client and take your 4% of your customer right now that are the best one for you, and write the copy just thinking about them. That's it. That's it. And when you're writing your content, make sure that you do not convince people. Like the convincing energy is very repelling. And to conclude this conversation, this part, when you're doing this, you will repel all the other client.
Yeah.
Like it will be like they will never engage with you. Never. Because when you're doing this type of messaging, they are not attracted to it, because they are the one that want to be babysitter, right? They want you to do the thing. So they want to be convinced that you are great. And then, when they're jumping into your program or into your service, they want you to do the work. But if you're doing this type of marketing, it's never going to happen. You're never going to attract those type of customer anymore, because they are repelled. Completely.
Oh, this is so good, Sara. This is so good. And I love the way that you express right here. It give us also huge, no, it's not a valuable tips. I don't believe in that shit. You give us actionable steps that we can integrate right away, right? No copy. And I love the fact that you are sharing, that you are directing us to speak in the to the empowered version of that client, like not coming from a like lack. And I think I think it was like a mini reel, something I did. Like sometimes the people come and like, oh, are you struggling? Are you suffering? Are you like, I'm thriving, bitch. I'm just gonna, excuse my French here. I'm thriving. I'm just gonna get better in this area. But if you're first of all coming to me, it's like, I'm gonna hold you. It's like
No,
kind of, it's repelling. It's like you said, it's not speaking to me. It's like, I'm,
no.
what, what do you think that I'm struggling? Even the word struggle is like, it's offending me. So you lost me right there.
It's
But
true. It's true.
yeah.
There is a like I always say this like you use the pain point, which I do not believe in pain point marketing. No,
Mm,
because that's not what iTicket is. Like when you want to attract a premium customer, we do not talk with pain point. You want to use the pain point like as a pinch of salt,
just like this.
like
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
a little bit, because of course they are having something that they need to fix, right? And they want to change it to make sure they're going in the next step to grow their business, wherever people does sell. But you want to use that as a pinch of salt, like just a little bit, a tiny bit. But then your marketing need to be empowering. You need to empower people so they can take action, because they already know that Graciela, she's the one. They already know that they need to work with you. Like they know already. They just need to see if you are the right person, and they need to see if you do have the solution. That's it.
Mm,
So
it's
that's
so
the type of
simple. The way that you put it, Sarah, is so simple, so like smooth, so
yes,
clear, and so direct. I love that. I love directness. I love so of course I love this balance of between soft and direct. But yeah, I love someone that's just telling me, hey, this is the thing, and
yeah,
I'm already aware of what I do require for my business. Or even like you said, if I'm not aware, you're gonna just explain with those like pinch of salt. What are the things that I'm experiencing, and I'm gonna become aware. But you don't have to go like way deeper in order to me to understand what is my next step. I
correct,
would,
correct.
I would love to ask you, Sarah, now that you have this business, and you mentioned, of course, that you mentioned that when you um, did you transition to Australia, you started working in yourself and also working in your business. I would love to know, um, as every single business, and I'm not going to make assumptions, you've been evolving with the time. And this Sara that I see right now, that she has her own team and she's like with a podcast and with clients. How you create her? What was your main identity? What was the one thing? And I know there are so many, right? I'm just,
Just
what
one.
was that thing that allowed you to step fully into this version that has this quality of business, that is she's bold and confident to attract high quality clients, that she's managed also a team. What was that thing?
The biggest thing that helped me to step into this, it was be not happy of the person that I was.
Hmm.
I was not happy of like being negative, because I wasn't like that. Like I was completely totally different person. Um, I was very negative, very insecure. I wasn't confident at all in myself, in my capability, in all the things that I do now. And that was the first step. Like I do not like this person. Like I
Mm.
was waking up in the morning, looking in my mirror and say, I don't like this person. This is not the person that I want to be. This
Oh,
is not the
boy.
life. This is
Yeah.
not the life that I want. And that particular moment was like a sort of, awakening and say, okay, you don't like it, you need to change. And then I just started to change that and do, all the things that we're supposed to do to change that. But that was the first thing, like, this is it. Like, this is the maximum. Like, this is the best version of myself. This is really the best version of myself. And the answer was no. This is not the best version of myself. This is actually not who am I. Let's discover who I am. I am really, who am I? And that was the when everything started to change, it because I started to work on myself, and that's how I did discover who I truly am. And I think that I am just like not even halfway. Like there is still so much to do and to
Yeah.
discover, but I didn't like my life. I was like pretty much not happy, waking up in the morning with no excitement, with no purpose. Like I was very lost and insecure about everything. And that was like, okay, Sara, let's change that, because the question for me was back then, if I'm not changing this right now, what it will cost me in
Oh,
5 years? And the answer was unhappiness, not a
wow.
fulfilled life, and not learning about who am I, and not having not meeting my full potential. And that would be a waste of my experience in this hurt. So I did change it. Of course, it was like a long process. Now I make these like sounds like
Like
easy
in
and
1 second.
but it wasn't like that. I will say that I did really touch like the bottom of my life in that moment. Like I was unhappy, I was not healthy, like even physically and emotionally, and I was eating like crap food all the time, and it was like the bottom line. I had no money in my bank account. I was completely broke, and it was like, that's it.
Something has to change. Yeah.
This is the worst Sara can do.
Mm.
Now what? Now how are we gonna change this? And from there, of course, I did start all the process. Yeah.
Mm. Thank you for sharing this. And I love that way that that you explain it. It's just I'm remarking again, it's from an empowerment like state. It's like no, like, well, I was there. It's like, no, you know what? I definitely saw what I was before the state. But I took the decision, I took radical responsibility, and I left myself and I redirect my direction. And I think that is key, self-responsibility. And it's just amazing to see the result. And I love as well that you said, you know what, we all have this you mentioned that if I'm leaving this, what is going to be the cost in 5 years? I
Exactly.
for every single investment, that it would be a good question to ask ourselves. What is the cost? If I don't pay right now for the investment, whatever that number could be. And sometimes
Yes.
even if you want to put it in a credit card or in a loan, whatever, it's cheaper in comparison of the 5 years or 3 years from now. It wouldn't move, right?
And I love that you say that, because that's exactly the same question that I ask my client when they do have objection about investing with my service. I do ask them, okay, what is going to cost you if you're not doing this with me right now because you are stuck, you don't know how to grow your business, so that's why we are here. What is going to cost you? And they say, oh, you are right, I think that I need to make this investment, because if I'm not doing this investment, I'm going to keep being here forever and I'm not going to grow the business. How you should grow your business, because we do need support. We do need someone looking into our businesses and say, this is not what it's not working. This is why it's not working. It's not working because you're doing this, or because, this is missing, or because you have to work on yourself, because often is
Is
that
that is
the
that thing is like it is you.
often is us. I always ask myself, when my income is not growing, I always ask myself, okay, Sara, what do we need to work on now? Because it's very connected. It's very connected with the personal work.
Yeah, I love that question. And if I can go add a little bit more,
Of
I
course.
I I do have like a mom that sometimes, and yeah, I'm not gonna say that I'm guilty about this, but it's like, what is going on here? It's like, what is the payoff? Why is it? Because it's a payoff that I didn't even know. What is the payoff? It's because if I'm growing or I'm bringing 5K or 10K or 20K more or whatever the amount, it's
Yeah.
I'm gonna maybe pay more in taxes or you name it. There's something that's silly thing that is in the back of my head. It's like, oh, but that isn't even worth it that you keep yourself in this. It's not. So sometimes we have a payoff that is we don't even aware of that payoff. It's like, no, I want to grow, but what is the payoff or keeping yourself small? What is the payoff of just continuing to receiving the same amount every single month? Maybe you
Yeah.
link that to responsibility, to paying more in taxes, to pay whatever amount, whatever the heck,
Yeah.
right? And
You're absolutely right. Absolutely.
and when we
And
do,
it's people that just keep them at the same, you say something really true. Often the income is not growing, wherever is the amount, it can be even zero. Like I don't have client, okay, I don't make sales, because we're tolerating the reality because it's comfortable. It's comfortable to stay at 5K, 10K, 20K, or 1K, because maybe you always made that. So how your life looks like now when you're making 5, 10K, but you don't know how it's going to look like when you're making 50, 100, 250K or wherever is the amount. So people remain at the same income level because it's comfortable. It's the amount they are comfortable with. So they tolerating the reality because they know this is how my life look like now with this income. And I'm kind of
Again,
comfortable.
struggling, but this is something that I know. I would love to, if you allow me here, can you go a little bit deeper? Because sometimes this was, I think I will say early 2000, let me go back in memory. Middle of 2021. For me, it was like, well, I do have this, I was starting my business and all those things. Like after I was working with a consultant and then we divide the business, oh, whatever. I went on my own. And I was listening to the people like right now, it's like, it's your standard. You know what? You have to raise your standard and it's something in you. And it's like, and you're comfortable even receiving like 5K a month or 2K or 10K. You are comfortable with that. It's like, I'm not fucking comfortable. Where to be? I'm not comfortable. I'm suffering. Like, but what is the first step? And of course, we already shared 2 questions. But in your point of view, what is the first step to say, I'm not gonna tolerate this anymore, and not just becoming aware. I think becoming aware is the first step, but what is the next tangible step? Not just like, yeah, you have to say that I'm not gonna tolerate it. That feels good. But what is the next step? What is the tangible that I can just fucking do and go? Just not.
Action. Action, straight away, action. Like what I do with my clients, they say that because, of course, they arrive at the point they're making 5, 10, or even 200, 250K, one of my recent customer. And then they start to freaking out like, oh my goodness, what I'm going to do now? Oh my no, oh no, no. And then panicking, right? So the second step is admitting, becoming aware that you tolerating that amount of money and you want to go to the next step. And the second thing is taking action. I usually suggest them to go in their stories and sell, for example, or messaging a client and offer to them something else. Like action need to happen straight away. Because if it does not happen, the action is just like you say, it's fluffy. You know,
Yeah,
I
it
did
sounds good, but
yeah,
it's not. Yeah.
but it's not, you are not embody that. And of course, there is more to do regarding this, but the first step will be take action straight away. Like you say that you are not tolerating this anymore. Okay, just go outside now and sell.
Do
Sell.
something.
Sell straight away. Show to the universe that you are not tolerating this income anymore and you want to make more money this month. So do, if you did sell 3 times the previous month, now sell every day. Sell every day this month. Sell every single day and show to the universe that you're not tolerating this amount of money anymore. You want more. You desire more. Because if you have more, you can help more people. You can have more funds. You can have more income. You can hire your team or wherever. So that would be action straight away. Like don't procrastinate and just do something straight away, because when you're doing that, you create momentum. You create momentum.
And what I see it as well as a visual for the listeners is like when the thing that you're saying, I'll just take action, you move in the energy. Like, okay, you're ready, you're moving, you meet in the universal source in the middle. You're not like, okay, I'm not tolerating this, but I'm just here, I'm just praying, I'm just like complaining. You're meeting. And even if it is like action that is not fully aligned, you're doing something and the response is gonna be different, yeah, right?
Exactly. You did use the right word. Like if you want to make more money, whatever is the amount, it can be even 1K because maybe you are at zero, doesn't matter. You have to do something that you never done it before. You have to change something. You are not going to make more money by doing what you did already for the past 6 months. So if you want to make more money, you have to do something different. Maybe, I don't know, it's doing a master class and having people in the master class. So maybe it's selling every day, or maybe it's posting content, whatever it might be, the action. Do something that is different, completely different than you did before. Or maybe it's investing. For some people, it's investing because they never maybe invested, like whatever it may be. So you move the energy, you change, shift everything, and things is gonna change, and the outcome is gonna be different for sure. So yeah.
So good. This is so good. And the way that you illustrate it is so, I'm remarking again, it's so clear, concise, direct, it's not fluff. And yeah, we like fluff, right? I would like to feel good and that just an alignment, but it's a part of action. Yeah, we have to put action. It's just, it's a beautiful balance, right? In between the feminine receiving and all that good stuff, but also doing. It's just like,
Yeah.
be like
Exactly. I am very feminine. Like I have so many moments in my business where I do allow receiving, where I'm not working and I'm allowing money to come, client to come, but also the how and the action is essential because otherwise sometimes my clients tell me this and I always share this with them, but people don't buy. Yeah, people, their job is to buy from you, but your job is to make them buy from you. So if you're not offering to them your product, they cannot buy. Like it's your job to market yourself really well and show them why they should buy that. Like show them the transformation, the benefit, what they're gonna get, like the prices, like the testimonial that you already have. That's our job. Sell, it's our job. It's not our customer job. So we have to make sure that we do understand that and approaching this from a place of empowerment and kindness, like, oh, people should buy. People, no, they shouldn't buy. You should ask them to buy. That's our job. That's a business owner job. So we have to make sure also that we do this properly because it's on us. I do just three things in my business: coaching client, selling, and marketing. I don't do anything else because that's what I'm supposed to do. Content is supposed to be something that I do, not my team. I have to do content because it's me that knows my customer. It's me that can put together a really great copy. My team doesn't know, like, yeah, they can do the graphic and, the design, but then the wording need to be mine because who else knows my customer better than me? Nobody. Nobody. So it's our job. It's our job. And we have to make sure that we do this properly because otherwise people don't buy.
Yeah, and I love the fact that you share those three pillars like coaching, selling, doing the marketing, and I think for in every level we have to refine either we don't know in what stage we are in the business or we are not in the same stage. Maybe for like you mentioned before, for some people it's just investing in themselves. For others, it's just refining the message or is better themselves in certain skill, you name it, right? But it's just we have to become self-aware on what are the things that we must do in order to go to the next level or to align with the goals that we are setting for ourselves. And when we lead ourselves from that place, there's no like blaming, there's no impatience. And sometimes I'm not the most patient woman in the world, but when I understand the process,
Me
it's
neither.
like and people's like, I want the things by tomorrow. Like, no, I'm even more impatient. I want the things by yesterday, not even by tomorrow, by yesterday. You know what I mean? But we have to understand as well this.
Yeah.
Yes.
People need to hear it, like even like in marketing, 7 times. You have to imagine that someone needs 7 times. They need to see 7 times. What are you selling? Because not everybody is jumping on straight away. Not everybody is ready today. Maybe someone is ready 90 days because there is a buyer cycle and it does work like that. I tested this multiple times with customer, with myself, and it's true. There is people that find me today and maybe they're not gonna buy for 3 months or 6 months or 1 year. So yeah, we have to keep going. We have to keep going because there is people buy today, there is people buy tomorrow, there is people that never gonna buy. There is also people that never gonna buy, and that's okay. Not everybody needs what I do. It's okay. It's okay. And we have like, that's why detachment is essential because if you are detached, you just keep doing your work. I use this metaphor that I think it can be very beneficial for your customer, for your listener. Imagine that you are a waitress at the catering. She does have the plate with all the food on the top, and she just go around to the room, offer the food to the people. And what she does, she show you the plate. Hi, how are you? Would you like to try some? Yes, please. take it, or no, please, okay, thank you. And she just keep going to the next one. She doesn't bargain, she doesn't convincing you to try what it's in the plate.
The people.
She doesn't do any of that. And that's exactly how I sell. And that's what I suggest the client to do. Sell like you are a waitress. Just go around and you keep, but you have to go around. You have to show people what there is in the plate, or they're never gonna have the food in the plate. So it's the same with social media. Just show to people what you do, show to people what you have to offer, and the right one will jump in.
Yeah, I love that analogy. And they're so simple because there's no forcing. It's like you offer the thing, but I have to do the action to pick. It's not like you have the tray right here with you and just like put them into the hands. Like, no, do your work. I do have this amazing, this is an amazing product. If you pick it, it's because you know that it's of big value for your business, for yourself. If you don't pick it, that's okay as well. And I do have a story that I would love to share now that you mentioned about like clients are sometimes people see you and people even don't follow you. So I did have a client, it was in 2023, in the middle of 2023. She came, she's like, what are you doing right now? And it was like that time 12 weeks, 13 weeks with an extra call that I used to offer. Like, I'm doing this. And it's like, okay, I would love to be there. It's like, I offer you this back in 2021. It was not the same offer, right? I was like, yeah, but I've been following your journey and you've been getting better. It's like, what? Like,
Yeah.
it's like, but you don't even follow me. What was the thing? It's like, well, it's back then. I mean, you're nowhere in the same place and I was not in the same place. So no, there were no like call. There was nothing. It was just like, okay, here's the thing. It was just really easy. But what I didn't know is that she was watching what I even followed me. I was like, how in the hell, like how in the heaven is that happening? But that happens. I mean, sometimes, like you said, we are not ready. And I love the example that you put out as well of 7 times, because let me tell you something. We have, I don't know how many followers, so what people that we also follow. I don't go daily to whatever amount of people that I follow and just checking what are the offers. And they don't have the responsibility to come every single day to my thing. And maybe they have kids, maybe they have partner, maybe they have situations and so many things in their mind. And they're not gonna keep, okay, Graciela, I think she's launching or she's doing my due diligence, like you said, is showing up every single day. And sometimes we said, but it's not too much, it's not that much. People are not paying attention. Like, they pay attention 5 minutes, but they have other things in their mind. So
Yes, absolutely. I love what you say. And people need to, especially with what we do, if you're selling something that is not tangible, like it's not like this one that you see it and you buy it and is not tangible, you have to repeat the messaging. Like I'm currently talking about sales, and you will see me talking about sales for the next weeks because we're launching something new. And it will be like all about sales, constantly repeating the same message over and over again. So people need to hear it multiple times. Like you say, they don't pay attention. So you have to repeat it. So.
And we don't know in what seasons they are. Like, we don't even know what is going on behind the scenes. Sometimes it's like, oh yeah, I did have one lady that she's supposed to be do a podcast with me, and she's now pregnant, and she's like, I got COVID. It's like, what? But I've been seeing you, like you're posting. It's like, yeah, but I have COVID. I barely doing something things on my bed. I was like, okay, we don't even know, right? What is the behind the scenes? So I was like,
Exactly.
take your time, like take care of yourself right now. We can do this later. So how in that, Kevin, I'm gonna pretend that she's gonna be 24/7 or other people. My due diligence is showing up. And the way that
Exactly.
you put it, Sara, is so incredible. Like, not only the way that clarity, again, this is the third time that I'm remarking, but repetition, as we know, is key. It's so beautifully like clean, no salty, and your energy is so amazing. I just want to say
Thank
that.
you.
Like, you're
Thank
so
you.
attractive. Even I know that sounds weird. I'm a woman, right? You're so attractive. Your energy is so
Thank
magnetic.
you.
So
Thank you. Thank you. I
so
try to
definitely energy.
bring more, I don't know, like sales are very easy. Like marketing, it's simple, like it's very simple. And unfortunately today, with so many information, so many people online, they're sharing sometimes no true information, we are probably getting too confused about what actually business is. Business is very simple. You have a client, they need something, like they need a solution to a problem, and you provide that solution, and you're talking about that in your marketing, and you sell it. That's it. That's business. And you make sure that you deliver a really good service, so you have client retention. That's it. It's really easy, like easy. But we do complicate everything so much for nothing, for nothing.
We all require, I'm not going to use the word need, we all require a Sara in our lives.
Mhm.
Let me tell you.
I'm try to be there for many
For,
people as possible.
for people that are available, high quality clients, please. The other ones are just like, no, there's not a vibe.
No, the one, like,
The one who's ready.
I have all amazing clients, like every client that I have, they're incredible. But when I did when I was speaking with the disempowered one in my marketing, of course I did had no great experience.
Oh, yeah.
Then we grow, we change, and we do understand now, like, have amazing people that respect my boundaries, my rules, like they watch all my courses, and it's rewarding because when you have clients like that, that's why I ticket, because when you work with clients like that, it's rewarding for you as a business owner because they do the work, they see results, they see success, and that's your success because you are helping someone, right? And you see them changing their life. Whatever you're selling, it can be even a coffee cup, but you're making their life better because of the coffee cup. Like, doesn't matter what we do sell, the end of the result is the same, right? We are making people to feel better, to have a better lifestyle. I have clients, sometimes they send me a picture, they are in Bali, and they say, Sara, this is thanks to you because my business now is growing. So we finally took that vacation. And that's the reason why we do what we do, because we improve people's lives, and there is happiness for everybody. There is money for everybody. There is a space for everybody here to succeed. Like, yeah, there is competition. Yes, of course. But who cares about the competition? Nobody is Graciela. Nobody is you.
Yeah, and nobody vibrates. One of the things that just without going in depth in competition, no one can vibrate for you and for me. Like no one. And that is one of the gifts that when we become aware of this, like no one can attract for me. No one can attract for you. And that is the thing. Like, and
Yeah.
when we understand that, things get simple. All right, Sara. Oh, this was really, really like, this was
Very
almost like I felt it like a class. I felt it so full of value. Like this is so, you're so generous for all the actionable steps, not tips, actionable tips that you gave us and sharing your story as well. Like, and now because we can see all just the Sara that you're right now, but we had a taste of who you were before, and that was really amazing as well. I would love to, before to close our podcast, I would love to ask you, what is your superpower?
I will say what my client say, okay? I will use my client word. My client always say that I'm able to bring them to to a place of possibility, like infinite possibility and empowerment. And they always say that that's something that I do with them, like they feeling like, no, this is not possible, this is something I cannot do, and then thanks to the work that we do, they believe they can do anything. So I will say that this is my superpower based on what my clients say.
And let's go deeper, but based on you, what is your superpower?
I think like for me, like if I can see myself like externally, I think that my superpower is the fact that I don't give up. And if I say that I did say this to myself 5 years ago, like when I started my business properly, I'm gonna make it. No matter how long it's gonna take, I will make it. And no matter all the challenges, I will keep going until I get there. And I think that this is my superpower, even with the client that maybe sometimes don't see result, I don't give up with them. Like I don't say, okay, no, this client doesn't get result. let's
You
give up. No, I never give up. So with my content, my podcast, social media, wherever, I don't give up. And that I think is my superpower in business,
I
in
love that.
life, in general, in
Right.
life.
And that is so beautiful, being resilient, and when you said like, I'm gonna make it. This is it. This is not even a negotiable thing. I think that is a beautiful gift that also, of course, you're enjoying of that, but your clients as well. So it's really, really beautiful. If you can share with us, Sarah, I forgot to ask you this, where we can find you. I'm gonna put your information either above or below of this video and also on the podcast, but where we can find you, what are the things that we can just, if someone is listening to this podcast and in that moment, or what are the offers that are, I'm not saying timeless, but we can enter all the time, like one-on-one, or
Yeah,
where we
totally. So the best way is like people can find me on Instagram and they can connect with me personally on Instagram because I am on Instagram all the time. So I can connect with you. You can listen to my podcast, and that will be like the first two things to do to connect with me. And if someone want to work with me, I do have a lot of free resources, for example, if they want to have a taste of what I do, or I offer one-to-one service. I do have a group coaching program, and I also have video courses, like something that people can do on their own time, and they can just study on their own. And then I have a group coaching program, the Launch Academy, and my one-to-one service. And there is so many new things coming, but I cannot talk about them yet.
Yes. Thank you so much. Sarah. It was just like the leader's experience to be in your presence, and I'm so honored.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for his listening, and thank you, Graciela, to be like such a beautiful woman and kind, generous, and empowered, very empowered woman that she owns her power and everything that she does. So thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. And all the listeners, thank you so much. And we will see you in the next. Thank you so much for being here. Your presence is greatly appreciated, and it truly means a lot to me. If you could support us by leaving a 5-star review, it will help us to connect with more extraordinary and influential women like you. With that being said, thanks once again, and let's look forward to an amazing and legendary week ahead.